what do y'all feel like men are dropping the ball in terms of the dating game, just in general?
I was gonna say putting these women on the pedestal.
Yeah.
Putting them on the pedestal, and we're seeing this even in the space that we are in. We are seeing them put the women on the pedestal, the wrong type of women at that. So I just feel as though, I won't say I feel, I don't like to say I feel, but what your feelings, right? Shout out to Anton, but in my opinion, anytime you want to put the woman above man, that's when you wrong. That's when you wrong. Go ahead.
No, yeah. Just to kind of piggyback off that a little bit there, I think when you begin to invest more time into her than you are yourself. I think that if you got a purpose, you ask women. You had these conversations. Y'all be having these conversations all the time. Y'all be having women on y'all show. I do more of a solo thing, but you had these conversations with women. Don't know women want a man that's trying to lay up under her all day and ain't got no drive. Right. They want a man that they need. They want a man that is exclusive. They want a man that has to squeeze some time in for her because he's out doing his own thing for his own future, for maybe the future of both of them. You know what I mean? Those are the men that women want. And so when men start to prioritize women, thinking, "Oh, this is gonna get me some brownie points. I just got to put her first, treat her like you know how people be." But everything that they taught us before you hit the age where you had that experience that made you understand that everything different than what they say. Right. Like anything that you're doing like that, you just gotta have your own goals. Right. And no matter who comes into your life, I don't care if it's a man, a woman, friends, family. You are set on that goal. And when you do that, people will respect you more. Facts. Because you living for a purpose. You're not just out here willy-nilly going into vices, over drinking too much, smoking too much, sleeping with women too much, trying to be too it. You have a goal. And anybody, like my family will call me, and if I'm doing a show, I got my phone on Do Not Disturb. My mother understands that, hey, he's doing something right now, and that's his thing. My wife understands that he's doing something right now. That's his thing. So, and they respect me for that because they understand I have something going on. I'm trying to do something with my life to better myself and the people around me. So I think just being, investing more time into a woman than you are yourself is a huge downfall. I see a lot of dudes do.
Yeah, you definitely lose yourself in that. And with me, being mostly raised by my mom, I figured that out early. You know what I'm saying? Dating and, like you said, putting women first and things like that gonna get you behind. Yeah. And you also get lost in the sauce because you're trying to please her, make her happy, and not realizing that, you didn't slacked off. I haven't been to the gym in a month, all because I'm trying to make her happy. I'm overcompensating and just trying to do whatever to please her when really I should be focusing on myself. Right. And I think one situation, one thing I would say would be honesty in relationships. Like, men got to be just from the door. Hey, I'm busy. I have a certain goal that I'm trying to reach. I really care about you. I would like this to work. But at the same time, if you can't understand, then, hey, we just can't be together because this is going to take some work. This is going to take some time. This is going to take some effort. And as soon as I'm free, I'm going to spend all the time in the world with you. Right. But work has to come first because I'm building something. Right. And you have to understand that if you want to be a part of this, this is what I have to do to get there.
In fact, she ain't even gonna like you if you ain't building that.
Exactly.
So the priority that you putting before her, she may seem like she don't like it, and a lot of people don't understand this. Women are kind of complicated in that sense that they will try you on things that they don't necessarily want. Like women will push the boundaries. Yeah. And try to, but they don't want a man that ain't got no boundaries. They'll do that all day and say, "Oh, I want to wear this when I go out and do this when I go out." And when you tell them no, they'll get mad for a little bit, but then they'll respect you. There's a difference. You start letting women do whatever they want to do, and you find out that they don't truly want sometimes what they say they want. Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they say they want the nice guy, but then you know who gets the attention a lot of the times. They say they want you to be attentive to them, but when you too attentive to them and you ain't making no money, as soon as that light bill due and you ask her for some money, you out of there. So a lot of the time, I think you touched on something really interesting there. A lot of the times you prioritize women and you give them what they say they want sometimes.
Absolutely.
And it isn't actually what they feel like they need in their lives, and they end up disrespecting you or leaving you. Yep. Right. And then you end up, by yourself.
Which leaves me in the mind. Yeah, which leads me in the mind. Yeah. I feel like a lot of dudes in this dating era, dating according to ideal instead of what reality is. Yeah. And a part of that is what you're saying. A lot of women say that they want a lot of things. And some dudes feel like, okay, I got to meet them on every aspect that they want, and then they'll try to meet them on that aspect, and now she's no longer interested in you because you're born. You know, a lot of them, oh, I want a dude that's low key. I want a dude that's kind of ugly. I want a dude that nobody really, rock with like that or whatever. And then she'll get that dude and cheat on him with a dude that's lit and out here being toxic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think, again, like, especially as a young dude, we got to own the fact that toxicity is attractive. Much as people that don't want to admit it. You will say that in a room full of women, they'll look at you crazy. But then you will look at their baby daddy, or look at the last 5 dudes on their body count, and all of them are toxic. Right?
It's scary. It gets scary.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can you say that you want one type of man, but you're rewarding the complete opposite?
That's a fact.
And again, that's what I mean by like dating according to ideals instead of dating with what reality is. And I think a part of that is most men go into the dating game with no plan. Let's just be honest. Men stumble into the dating game.
Yeah.
And they try to freestyle once they get in there. But how it should be going is, as a man, you should come in with a plan already. As far as like how I want my family to run, as far as like boundaries that I'm not gonna bend on, you know what I'm saying? Situations like that, we gonna eat dinner at the table at 7:00 every night as a family. We gonna go to church every Sunday as a family. We gonna take 3 vacations every year as a family. Like really a detailed plan. We gonna spend this amount in budget. This amount's going to savings. This amount's going to that. Like really detailed. And I would equate it to like, a lot of us in the real estate game, whatever the case may be, you're not just buying no property just because you like how it look. I'm about to go research the market, go deep and before I invest. And why? Because it's a big purchase. It's a big investment. But it's no bigger investment than the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with.
That's
so
right.
we need to attack it that way.
Yeah.
And that's just real. And a lot of us don't. And that's why we, end up in the situations we in.
It's crazy, and I talk about that sometimes because it changes for women. It does change for women, and they do start to prefer the good guy that has security, that's actually working the 9 to 5 over the drug dealer guy. Because I don't know if you guys seen that video, but there was a video that was out recently where a guy was asking a bunch of women like, "What do you prefer?" And they looked like us.
Yeah,
they
I've
were
seen
black
that.
women, bro. Like And let's just be honest, we know this.
Yep.
And a lot of dudes will go down these paths to get the attention of these women and at the destruction of themselves.
Right.
And they'll be the ones end up in jail, end up in prison while she out there with your friend. Like that's just how it works. And so like we're in a culture right now, and I'm happy now that we have this space where we can talk about these things because we're in a culture where our women are incentivizing the wrong men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like we have these terms like protect black women and we say all these things, we can yell all these things all day, but how can we protect black women if you are incentivizing or if you are worshiping or you like the men that are part of the problem in our culture?
Facts,
like, so
bro.
we have a hard time as men that have found grounding, as men that do want to work the 9 to 5 and try to do things the right way and try to be the right way because the women aren't attracted to that. And if we want to be honest, men want women. We do what it, we do what it takes to have women around us. Like that's what it's just what it comes down to. So I think a lot of dudes get caught up in that. And it's just something that we don't talk about enough. But now that we're in a space where we can talk about some of the wrongdoings of women and talk about some of the things that, hey, us black men, we ain't been perfect over all the years.
Right.
We ain't been perfect. We done messed up.
Right.
We done did our things. But y'all ain't perfect either, And I think now that narrative, now we have these channels, that narrative is being more passed, and younger women are being able to hear that. Hopefully, over all the noise of the city girls and the Megan Thee Stallions.
Right.
And I understand they got to get their money, so I ain't trying to, knock them. But you got to be able to decipher what's entertainment and what's not entertainment, right? So that's your job as a parent for your children and your job as a young adult. So that's on you. But I'm hoping that we do reach some of even the female audience over here in the manosphere. I would love to see more women over here and just hearing some of the things we have to say. Some of it is entertainment. Some of it may seem a little brutal sometimes, especially if you've never heard it. But if you take some of it with heat, hey, let's change our culture so that we get back to that 70% wedding rate or wedding rate. When we were in the hardest times ever, we were still jumping the broom. Can we get back to that where we had commitment? Because that's when we were the greatest. That's when we had Black Wall Street. That's when we had Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. All these people came up at the same time, and they were all funded by black families. After that, it's over. We don't have that anymore. And I think largely is because of just promiscuity in our culture has ran rampant. And everybody blames the men for that. But I think, okay, we get it. We've heard that narrative. Let's talk about some other solutions, and I think that's what we're doing now in the manosphere. And I think it's really important, for real.
Yeah, since you're talking about the manosphere, I definitely want to talk about that. But before we do, I'm going to kind of highlight this point. I think that men have to understand that women like balance, right? So the men out there, you guys can be the good guy, but you got to have a little rough edge.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got to understand what it truly is to be a man. So I don't think that, like, I think women need to, well, not women need to, but I think that women appreciate that. So they do want the good guy. And I'm going to give you an example, right? I got a friend, and I often have conversations with him like, you're the nice guy. You are the nice guy, but you got to have a little edge. You got to remain a mystery. You got to be spontaneous. You got to think outside the box. So thinking outside the box would be like, and I often say this, and I know it sounds kind of crazy, is, you know, try to choke her a little bit when y'all having sex. You know, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Treat her like she's not your girl.
Right. Slap that ass a little bit. You know, slap that ass a little bit, because she's going to be caught off guard because she's so used to you being a certain way. But I think that if you learn how to manhandle her a little bit, you're not abusing her.
Right.
You know, it's not banana split. I know you guys heard that terminology before. But I just still think that you got to have a little edge. And I think Kevin Samuels spoke about this. He was speaking to the men about a man knowing how to survive. So if you know that you're short and so forth, go get the combat training that you need.
Right.
So that if you are ever in that situation, then you know how to defend for you and yours. You know, to have that peace inside the crib. So in the event that somebody breaks in, you know how to protect the home.
Exactly.
So I just think that we can still be the good guys, but we just got to have balance. We got to have a little edge. If you grew up in the suburbs, start paying attention to some of the guys that's in the space. Start reading books. Start making sense of this. Women like a guy that's an all-around type of guy, man, that could just
absolutely
do any and everything, man. I mean, because think about it. Imagine being in that situation where you do have a guy that's disrespectful. And the reason why I like Kevin Samuels, like when he did this monologue and it was so dope, is that a person don't have to go towards the fight. You can see somebody, but if it gets out of hand, you know how to handle that situation. Because if it gets out of hand, you don't want to be that man where people pull out the phones and they start recording. That's exactly what he said. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense.
That's facts.
You know, like, you don't want to be that man where somebody hold your ass and then you just walk away.
Yeah.
God knows what what your wife or your girlfriend, what she's thinking, but I guarantee you she's looking at you a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know, but you just want to be able to handle yourself, have that balance, have that rough edge. You can't be predictable. You got to be spontaneous. But we can segue. If you guys want to add to it, then we can. Yeah, or we can segue right into the member.
I got a little something because, I mean, what you're saying is 100% precise. And if you look at female fantasy, you see that. 50 Shades of Grey. It's a guy that during the day, he's shaking hands, smiling, showing teeth. And then at night, you tie it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at a lot like Twilight, that did huge amongst women. It's a guy, he's nice during the day, but he's a vampire. It's a little, you know, it's a little sexy. So that's what it is. It's that balance between the image and what you actually, okay. It's pretty much, it's the balance. It's just the balance. It's being able to mix and mingle between both of those things. And another thing that you said is huge is the martial arts, because that's just going to build confidence.
Right.
You know, and if you, I mean, confidence comes from success. So you got to find your avenue of success so that you can start building confidence in yourself. What are you good at? What do you like to do? Keep doing it to be more successful at it, and that's going to transpire into your dating life because you're used to success now. And that's what confidence comes from. Like, people are just like, go and just be confident. No, you got to apply yourself as a man to be confident, because confidence comes from success. You can't just walk into a room and fake confidence. It's going to seem arrogant. You look ridiculous. It always, and we was talking about this before the show, it looks bad. It looks horrible. We know you're faking. You're not real. We smell you from a mile away.
Right through it.
Exactly. So, like, you got to build that confidence from doing things that you like to do or doing things that you want to do, and continue to do it so that when you walk into a space and you want to start dating, you already have had success in other avenues. So now you have value. Now you feel that confidence, and I think it shows in every aspect of your life when you do something that you like to do and you do it successfully.
I'll tell you, well, you know, the irony of the situation is that we have to look no further than the type of women we're attracted to realize how we should be. In terms of like spontaneity, like, you can have a woman that's perfect for you, quote unquote, according to society standards, right? She goes to church every Sunday. She's not going out a lot, cooks for you every now and again, you know, whatever, cleans the crib, all of that good domestic stuff. But if she's boring, we gonna check out.
Yeah.
That's just real. You know what I'm saying? So as a man, that's what I mean by you have to look no further than what you're interested in. If you get bored by that and you check out, hell you think she gonna do? If you just being a standard dude with no edge, no spontaneity, no nothing. I'm coming home, going to work, bringing the check. That's it. We having missionary sex in the bed, on your bed. Like just fam, like no, you gotta surprise her with, like you gotta call her and just again, it's just spontaneity, bro. Like if she get out of pocket, you gotta check her and put her back in pocket.
Yeah,
like
especially if you a nice guy, that's gonna come off. They gonna love that.
Real.
You the nice guy, you just go. Oh, okay, yeah, let's go and check that right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they love that.
Yeah,
oh.
and more importantly, you got to do that from the start of the relationship. A lot of dudes make that mistake.
Talk about that.
Nice guy go into the situation and they be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be a square cut, whatever. And then you got 2 years into it and she doing shit that you don't agree with. So now I'm gonna try to be this aggressive, dominant alpha. No. She's not gonna respect that.
Yeah, it's over.
You need to come into it with that mindset. And a lot of dudes don't.